I call the Honourable Member Moana Maki.
Thank you, Mr Chair, and I just want to take a very brief call on part 3 of this piece of legislation, and hopefully the Minister will be able to respond, because this is about the issue of excess repayments. It's something that we touched on in part 1, and I'm pleased to see that there's going to be some clarity around this, because I think, as we heard before, as someone who did overpay my student loan, I'm pleased to see that there is an obligation. It wasn't a donation, trust me, Mr Quinn. That there is an obligation in Part 3 on the IRD to contact student loan holders and inform them that they have in fact met their obligations under the student loan scheme. In my particular case, I've just felt that perhaps I'd reached that point where I might have paid it back, and I rang the IRD to find out what the status of my loan was, to be told that I'd overpaid it by about $1,000. The question I have for the Minister is that in the past, particularly when I've done my income tax returns, if I've owed the IRD money, then they've wanted it on very short notice. In fact, there have been quite tight timeframes within which I would need to meet my obligations to the Inland Revenue Department to make sure that I paid any tax that was underpaid. It took 4 or 5 months to get my money that I'd overpaid on my student loan back from the IRD, and in fact they got quite snippy with me when I asked if it could potentially or possibly be paid back earlier. And we heard from my colleague Ian Lees-Galloway earlier in the debate, who also said that just recently this year he's paid back his student loan, found out that he'd overpaid by about $500, and when he asked when he could have it back, was told, well, not at least until October. Now, I understand the IRD is a very busy department, but it seems to me that for their own credibility, when they come down very firm and very hard on people who owe them money, that perhaps when the opposite case is true, and in my case when they hadn't even informed me that I'd met my obligations, that I'd overpaid my student loan and that I could stop paying, that it would seem nice if it was reciprocal, and if IRD were as speedy in the return of money to people that have overpaid as they are in terms of people who are underpaid. I think the Minister now has an answer, so I'm happy to sit down.
The question is
Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry.
I call the Honourable Minister.
I don't want to deter the committee unduly, but I'm comfortable answering very quick questions if we're going to proceed in this manner. So in response to the member's question, the short answer is that from the time that the excess payment has been identified, the department has a 6-month period within which to negotiate with the borrower about the nature of whether it's to be offset or repaid. As to the point which is behind the question as to whether that means that the department's determination to seek payment is matched by an equal determination to make payment, I can simply advise the member that it's a best endeavours situation from the point that a settlement's reached.
The question is that Part 3 stand part. All those in favour, please say aye. The contrary, no. The ayes have it. I advise honourable members, the question now is that Part 4 stand part, and that includes debate on clauses 124 through to 180. The question is that Part 4 stand part. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. The contrary, no. The ayes have it. Honourable members, the question now is that Part 5 stand part, and I wish to advise members that debate is on clauses 181 through to 218. It also includes debate on schedules 5 through to 9. I call the Honourable Member Grant